Welcome to the Please Suck Less podcast, a podcast where one guy shares his views of where the fire service can improve. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Please Suck Less podcast. I am your host, David Polikoff. So there's a few things I want to talk about today. A couple things that I've been thinking of, as I say at every podcast, things that have been on my mind, what have you, but they are. But one of the things that I want to talk about is people that just are angry, perpetually angry, whether they're on the job or just in general. When I see them at work, and it kind of makes me wonder what's going on in their life that they're so angry about everything and they're so negative about everything. And, eventually that's just going to start wearing on people. And these angry individuals are going to end up alienating themselves because nobody wants to be around them. A lot of times I just want to take some of these people and just kind of grab them and just say, you need to do a self-reflection. You need to, examine what's going on in your life. Reflect on your current situation. And you really, in order to try to understand what you're angry about, you have to ask yourself, the first question is this something that I can change? Is this something that I can fix right off the bat? Or is it something that goes much deeper and it's going to take more involvement as it moves up through the ranks? Is it something that only the fire chief can fix? So a lot of times, I just want to look at these people and just say, let's examine exactly what you have. Do you have a job? Yes. You're getting paid. You're getting paid decent money. Are you putting food on your table? You're providing for your family. The answer is yes. Do you have friends? Well, that all depends. If you keep with the negative attitude and being so angry all the time, you're going to alienate yourself and nobody's going to want to be around you. Do you feed into this hostility? Is it something that stems on your shift and it's one of those things that people are, might come and they're angry about something and then you feed into that and then you get angry and then you have a hard time letting it go. Are these the kind of people that feed into turmoil? You have people out there that just feed on the negativity. They get off on things being terrible. It makes them feel better about themselves because things around them are, in their mind, burning down. Pardon the pun. These people, they're always dissing the organization. There's always a problem with the organization. It's never good enough. Things should be different. But yet they wouldn't offer any solutions to what's going on or what could you do to make it better. They just as soon point out all the things. And I know I've talked about that before in a recent podcast about, pointing out all the things that are wrong, but never offering any solutions. And then you got to look at them and say, well, what are you doing? If you're an officer or even just a subordinate and these people that are constantly thriving off this negativity, ask them, what are you doing to improve it? What do you see that's wrong? What are you doing to try to improve the situation? What are you trying to do that in your mind could improve the organization? Are they contributing to the organization to make it better? A lot of times, like I said, these people just bitch to bitch. And at the end of the day, nobody wants to be around these people. They end up being toxic employees. They make the work environment less desirable. You'll have people that it could get to the point where you could have people starting calling in sick. When I was a captain, when I got promoted, I went to a particular station that had some issues, and it was one person on the shift totally destroyed the entire structure of that shift. They were so toxic. They brought so much crap to the table that this was just a dysfunctional shift. They weren't able to do the job to the point where starting to get dangerous when they ran calls, and it started to get a little hostile where, it could eventually rise to the point where you'd end up having an HR issue, which is a whole nother world. But being able to sit everybody down, giving them my clear expectations of what I expected of them, slowly it started to improve, cleaned up some of the messes, tried my best to clean up the attitude. The bottom line is people have to want to change. Ultimately, that one particular person ended up just kind of imploding in the eyes of my bosses. And eventually they were pulled off the floor. And then eventually they were kind of given the old tomato, as my dad used to say. You can retire or you're going to get fired. And I think they chose to retire. And the funny thing is that when that person was gone, within a week, that shift had turned around to where we were eating dinners together. We were, the training was much better. Because that station wasn't a very busy station, I would bring a movie in back when we would watch DVDs. And he'd have movie night at 8:00. And because the station wasn't so busy, we would actually get to watch the whole movie. So we'd do all our work during the day, and then we'd have movie night, and we would watch a movie. And by the time it was done, we'd clean up the firehouse, and people would start turning in to go to bed. So it's amazing what can happen when you get rid of that one toxic person. So to all the people that are listening to this, be on the lookout for those people that breed hostility and anger and toxicity in the work environment, and challenge them. What are you going to do to fix it? Even go as far as saying, if things are that bad, why don't you quit or why don't you retire? Because the people that are here want to be here. And one of the last things that I'll leave you with is people that constantly are upset about things that aren't in their control. Things that can't be changed overnight, things that would require budgeting in order for it to be fixed. Yet they get so fixated on the issue that it truly affects how they lead and how they operate at work. They're so upset because something that's totally out of their control isn't fixed, or can't be fixed overnight, or requires an act of a budget item and things like that. And those are things like staffing. We all want more staffing when it comes to our fire department, but it's very difficult to hire the amount of people that we truly like to have on the job. You end up with with the testing and the background checks and things like that, and by the time it's all said and done, you have just enough to maybe get a recruit class out of it, and then you lose people through that. So staffing's always an issue, and it's not something that can be fixed overnight. Politics, you are not going to change the political environment of your city or your county, the organization that you work in. Politics, unfortunately, is a part of life, and you have to learn to be able to either navigate through it or just accept what it is, come to work, do your job, and then go home. But you cannot be so fixated and upset about politics of the department that you work in that it truly just grinds you down to the point where you are just not a functional employee. And then other people's views and opinions, you can't change that. What I like to tell people is, don't bring those things to the table. Don't bring politics to the table. If you have an opinion, fine. Everybody has an opinion. If it's asked for, you can give it. But just to walk around to give your opinion freely, not everybody wants to hear it. If we're having a conversation and somebody asks you a question, then you give that honest answer. But you're not going to be able to change people's opinions or their hearts or their minds overnight. It's like that old saying, you go onto Facebook and, because of your comment and how you said things, I'm going to change my entire political belief, my entire political party, and I'm totally going to start doing things this way because of your meme or your tweet that you put out there or your Facebook post or whatever. It just doesn't work that way. So bottom line, people, stop worrying about the things you can't change. Stop worrying about the people that are so mad and upset at work. Challenge those people. Ask them what the problem is. It could be something that runs a lot deeper. Maybe there's an issue at home. Maybe they just need somebody to hear what they have to say, and maybe you can put things in perspective. Maybe you just need to look at them and say, why are you mad, bro? All the times you're mad. Tired of hearing it. We're tired of you coming to work, putting things down. You need to change the way you do things. You need to be able to be a contributing member of the shift. Stop being so angry all the time. Anyway, off my soapbox. Just some things that were on my head, things that I've noticed and that I've had to deal with throughout my career. But at the end of the day, if you're in the fire service, if you're a career firefighter, it's the best job in the world, hands down. It's one of those jobs where that old saying is that you pick a job and it doesn't feel like work. If you love what you do, you never work a day of your life. One of the things I tell my kids, pick a job that you would do for free, and that job is something that you will excel in and that you would love, and you would get out of bed right away and go to work. So we have the best job in the world. Treat it like it's the best job in the world. Do your shift a favor. Be the best firefighter, the best officer, the best paramedic that you can be. You owe it to your family. You owe it to your firefighting, your second family, and you definitely owe it to the citizens. Thanks a lot for listening.
Remember, suck less, do better.
Thanks for listening to the Please Suck Less podcast. If you like what you hear, you can send us a note through Instagram at Please Suck Less. There you can just send us a message. Thanks for listening.